doing well. It is it's a good day. I don't know why I took the Joy-Cons off from the thing. I have a controller. Sorry, just knocking everything over my room. Hope everyone's Monday went well. Mine did. I had the day off from work for President's Day, so I celebrated by eating meat and Chinese food and like playing video games. I think George Washington would be proud of me. So if you need a quick refresher from what we just did in the previous stream / episode, if you're watching a VOD like a Let's Play, the rockers rocked and then someone died. And I was initially suspicious of the blonde-haired boy because he seemed to disappear all the time and everything. But it appears that he's probably going to be our client. So I guess it's the other one. Court is now in session for... how do I say that? Machi Tobase, Your Honor. His voice. Machi Tobase, Your Honor. The pixie of the Arpeggio. Right, his trial. Court is in session. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is A-OK, Herr Judge. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. My opening statement, yeah? Oh, no, actually, there was something else I want to ask you about. Yes? Say you're going to visit someone in the hospital with incurable disease. What do you say to them? Hey? I mean, you wouldn't say, get well soon, right? You're really kicking them when they're down. What are you talking about? Actually, I'm going to visit someone who is terminally ill. Right after this trial. The Chief Justice's son. The Chief Justice? His son is afflicted with the most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems. So I thought I'd go pay him a visit. I thought saying something moving might be in the order of the day. Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's in their mind instead of pretending? She's looking at me with something like... disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? In any case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement, briefly. You're in luck, Herr Judge. I believe you'll be going on your hospital visit sooner than you think. First, to review the victim in this case. Romain Letouce, age 35. The global manager for diva songstress La Mirror. The cause of death? Blood loss, due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details. The court accepts this into evidence. 45 caliber. That's quite large, isn't it? A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet. However, the bullet struck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved. I suppose the victim's condition could have been worse. Much worse, considering. 2 shots were fired. One shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall of the scene. Observe the diagram. He's a little bit more British than German today, I'm sorry. This is where the bullets hit. I see. The court accepts this evidence. If we're talking about a 45 caliber revolver, we must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use. Really? Yeah, apparently. Weapons that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, he'd break every bone in his body. The defense will take more care in choosing examples. As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. This dressing room has only one entrance, this door. That does seem to be the case, yes. However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots. He's talking about you and Emma, huh? Yet, when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course. But that's impossible. Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person. One person? That is, of course, the defendant, Machi Tobase. Only this defendant could have committed the crime. But how? It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime scene make it clear. Very well. I assume you have testimony to back up this claim. Please, show the witness to the stand. Is it Emma? Oh, it is Emma. Your name and profession, please. Emma Sky. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail at the concert forum that night. Emma seems tired somehow. Security at the concert, you say? Some security I was. Couldn't even stop a murder. Now, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know. I'm sure that makes her feel much better. I only care about these bigger mistakes. In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered, and we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony, if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day and your discovery of the crime, please. Alright. I feel like chemistry things on her hip. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. The only people involved were the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went to the room, filled with blaring rock music, and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it. It was lucky that a detective was the first on the scene. But that door was the only way out of the room, right? Yeah, pretty much. I don't get it. How can they say that Machi did it? Looks like we need a bit more information. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. I do kind of like how we jumped into this one. I mean, you know, we spent the entire stream last time we played this game going through the backstage halls and everything like that. But like, we had to go around and like collect items or like do anything particularly crazy. We just got all of our evidence right away. The night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes? That's right. What was the detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert. My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods. Prosecutor Gavin. Yes? Allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say. The stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall. Conspiracy. Well, isn't it obvious? My keys. That whole morning. Oh, the whole day was ruined. And it's all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't drive my Hulk to the show. I couldn't open my guitar case. There he goes again. Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them? Misplaced them? Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own. What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, that makes you a prime suspect. Love, slow acting anew. Atroquinine is waiting for you. He's singing something. Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top? The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was like a sailor, adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen, so I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task. I see. I can accept that. Well, I can't. What do you mean, time on their hands? Please, the testimony. We were back there. We were let in, though. I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't write you. I gave the floor line special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again. Oh, boy. Did you hear that? We're officially involved now. Gee, great. Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off. So no other outsiders were there then. And then, said. I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots. You were the one chatting. I was eating snackoos. Ah, hey, you were snacking in court. And you're sure the shots came from Mami Rora's room? Yes, absolutely. Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this will keep you quiet. Thanks. So, how about it? Anyway. You're right there. Hard to be mistaken all that. Please, either talk or eat. Not both at the same time. Right, so after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door. Filled with blaring rock. I feel like that's a key bit here. Rock? Blaring, yes. When you say rock, are you referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days? That's right. When we went to the dressing room, music was playing over the speaker on the wall. They piped sound from the stage into the backstage through speakers. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Did it have to be so loud? So you don't listen to the governors with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul. I always had the backstage monitors at full volume. When you walked in the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime. Okay, so this is going to tie back into the whole guitar having a mix-up, right? Somehow? I don't know how, but somehow it will. If you could hear that music played, then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi, including myself. Now I'm suspicious of his rhythm guitarist. Anyway, I closed out the scene and started my investigation. How could you know something like that? As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room, that door. The small window only opened a tiny crack, and I was standing in front of that door. So, how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent. Objection! But that air vent was too small. Who could possibly... Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through. Or me. The only one who could fit through was a child. Remember, access to those rooms is limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed. In default of people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child. The defendant. The pixie of the arpeggio flitted up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime. But that's just conjecture. Or, there was no other way out of the room. You were there. You should know, Hair Forehead. And there's another vital piece of evidence. Evidence? What? Marks were found on the air vent grill. Traces that had recently been opened. Wait, what? And then something else was found, quite clearly. The defendant, Machi Tobase's fingerprints. What? Order. 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 That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, Hair Forehead, what fairy tale does this suggest to you? Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie. Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience. This was as decisive evidence. Quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive. Okay, but aren't things a little bit off here, though? Between 9 and 9:30. Is there a set list? The thing that belongs to Lami Roar was there. So the thing that I'm thinking about right now is like the gunshots are against the left wall, but the gun is over next to him, which is weird, right? Like, it looks more like he shot the gun than anything, but he wouldn't have a reason to shoot, right? Makes me wonder if there's a second gun. But I don't know. I guess they could have dropped it or something, but it still doesn't really make a lot of sense, you know? I believe you'd had enough to determine our verdict, even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit. I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough. Can't be over already. Very well. I believe this trial is finished. If the defense has no contradicting evidence... Oh boy. The prosecution has presented our proof clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it better be clear and plain. Apollo, the got us on the ropes already. It's quick. No. No. Think. Get us out of this. We need evidence or witness that can prove Machi's innocent beyond a doubt. This isn't the guilty love, right? No, this is not the guilty love. I mean, we do know that she knew about stuff, which is very strange. And the Lami Roar thing is also awkward. I mean, it is her dressing room, so you can say that that isn't decisive. There's also this thing that plays the part that's busted, right? That's why I like this. Yeah, 2's off, right? So like this dude's thing is off for some reason. We don't know why, but I mean, it's not like he could fire a bullet in the middle of this, right? So I don't know how that would fit in. But this is the song that was playing at the time of the crime. Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? I don't know. If you do, you better tell us about it now. So soon. I messed this one up. It's all over. Court wants contradicting proof. Show evidence. Call a witness. I'd like to call a witness, I think. Prosecutor Gavin, you claim that there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I'd swear to my career as a prosecutor. And on my millions other hit song, Atrocanine, my love. There he goes again. That's too bad, because there was a witness. Oh, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge the prosecution clearly does not? Because I am the only one in the world who knows this. Let's talk to him now. He's alive. Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Cold. Oh, cold. Witness. You're cold. Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way. In there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness? This is... What? The victim said this before he died. Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not. What do you mean by that? All we know is what Herr Forehead says you said. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney.
Objection!
But it's the truth. He said it. I even told you about it. But apparently you ignored me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job.
That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Bail carries a stiff penalty.
Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for. Back me up now.
Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice.
I mean, I think that Machi is actually the witness, but we're probably supposed to present her. Oh, she's 40? Holy shit. Alright, so she's the one who's called the Siren of the Ballad, so.
Take that!
Lamy Roar.
Recall Mr. Latus's last words.
Witness is Siren. The Siren. Ah, he meant the Siren.
That's right, the Siren of the Ballad, Lamy Roar. Lamy Roar was only on stage for the second set, and she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness.
I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin.
My claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime.
Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please, show Lamy Roar to the witness stand.
Lamy Roar would say nothing of the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today we'll drag that story out of her no matter what it is. It is my distinct honor to welcome the Siren of the Ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind.
Ah, you can speak English.
Yes. Yes, I can. Though I am not very good. There's much I do not know.
You speak so well. Have you spent time here before?
Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language. Nor where I studied it. She means she doesn't know. I too thought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course. What's that? Lamy Roar suffers from amnesia.
Amnesia?
Lamy Roar is not my true name. Yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage. Wow! She's even more mysterious than I thought. As noted singer Lamy Roar, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her, thanks to her success. Yet, I do not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress.
I see. I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. You have nothing to fear in this court, Lamy Roar.
Thank you. Yet, there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness. What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened. Lamy Roar, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you here to testify. Yet that young gentleman with the wide forehead over there was adamant that you stand. Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy. Ugh.
Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw in the night of the crime.
Okay, here we go. Let's break this facade she has. She's clearly a freaking liar. As for what I saw, I saw nothing. That night I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. Bullshit. She totally... Ugh. I don't remember what she said, but I remember last stream that it was like highly suspicious that she knew things that she shouldn't have known.
I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying.
Hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. I hope he wasn't. I think is what this is probably supposed to say. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her here longer than need be. Wow, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet.
Let me roar when it talked to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what. Time to press on her. I'm gonna press right on her bladder and make her pee her penis. That's what's gonna happen. Oh, no. We gotta press. Press. But you must have seen something. Mr. Latouche named you. Mr. Latouche? Can I tell you what I don't know? Let me roar. He said you were a witness with his dying words. I do not know what he meant to say, but that night, I was about to say yes, I did. It was a great concert. You heard me sing. Thank you. I was hoping to get an autograph later, actually. Of course.
Mr. Justice, this is a cross-examination. You're out of line.
Anyone deserves an autograph here, it's me. Oh my god, that would be nice. Herr Judge. What's this? It's my autograph. Now keep this trial moving.
What? Oh, my grandchild will be so happy.
Apparently his grandson was a big fan. Let us continue, shall we? If you would, Leroy. Tell us what you did after your stellar performance. I don't know, she lit your guitar on fire though, dude. I don't know if you should be, like, singing her praises so much. You did not return backstage once? Where were you then? What were you doing? I was cleaning up on stage. There are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing. And was Machi with you at the time? Unfortunately, I do not know where he was. So much for an alibi for Machi. You let the blind child on their own, Lamiror? With Machi, correct? How is he then? He seemed as he always does. Though I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Latouche's death. Yet, he is not the type to show much emotion. Okay, what she just said there doesn't make sense because they were not told about the death. Yes, he has given the police no end of headaches. He answers most questions with silence. With his glinting brain speak nothing. The questioning has got him very far. We sat there, waiting. You were not told anything. I feel like we could contradict this right now. Press, just in case. How was the incident explained to you? I was told nothing in detail. Only that Mr. Latouche died.
Of course, investigations require some security.
But Mr. Latouche was my manager. I wanted to know more. I should have been told. Both Machi and I would besides ourselves with concern. Allow me to apologize, but please understand. Keeping you in the dark was as painful for me as it was for you. Yes, I understand. But does it ring true about her testimony? It's hard to imagine Mommy were lying. She might not be lying, but she's hiding something. Why wouldn't she tell me the night of the murder? Told to wait there. Where I learned that something bad had happened but wasn't told the details. You were not told that. You were not told that at all. Let's see.
Objection!
Wait, this isn't it. Wait, really? Really? Wait, what? Wait, I'm confused. But she knew about his death before they told her. Something was happening. Okay. Totally fair, Mr. I did not return backstage. Oh, wait, maybe this. Maybe this, because this isn't her. How did it get here then? I'm sorry, Lemmy-Roar, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Fie, that's Lemmy-Roar's. She was very knit for her song. Care to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder took place. At the very scene of the crime. What? Lemmy-Roar, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. It flies up this good.
What is the meaning of this? Lemmy-Roar, please explain.
Lemmy-Roar. Uh-huh. She says, English is quite difficult. That trick's not gonna work here. Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now? In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment. What? Think back to the moment of the crime. You know where I speak. Is she really saying all that? What's she talking about, Apollo? Right when the incident occurred. Is she talking about that? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. Right, understood. Gotta make sure no one comes in, right? Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Okay. I'm not gonna read this again, sorry. But we left after? Oh no. Okay, yeah, no, I remember that. Have you seen that just now? Okay, so Emma poked her head in, or not Emma, sorry, Lemmy-Roar poked her head in and somehow also lost the brooch. I don't buy it. I could buy that she's hiding in the room when we're in there, and then she left super fast and somehow left her brooch. So when her door closed. I looked into the room, just a glance, mind you. So this was when your brooch dropped. That explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it. But that's ridiculous. You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? Her forehead. She has raised a possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence. For a second I thought I was in the load.
So she looked in at the crime scene.
Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice. Her forehead shouting, "Who's there?" no doubt. A horrible voice indeed. I closed the door immediately.
Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony.
That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lemmy-Roar, you did look into the room though, right? Yes. Testify as to what you saw. Very well, though there was only the briefest of glimpses. Oh, hey, our things. I just noticed that our bracelet is wiggling. Let's press it. Also, I have no idea what to look for this. I mean, she's smiling. Where's her, not her breast, where's her hands? I'm doubting that we're gonna have a witness that had like a nervous twitch in their chest, so. Eyes don't change. Is it? Okay. Okay, so it's the entire time. I went backstage for just a moment. Alright, let's press it on again since she added to it. What did you see in that brief glimpse? I opened the door slight when I heard that horrible voice.
Then shut the door.
I have always wondered, Herr Forehead.
Does that voice of yours lack a volume knob?
Cords of steel, man. Just back off. I saw nothing. The late Mr. Legis' body was behind a wall. That's mostly true.
Hold it!
A wall? Was there a wall? Is what in English? A division or partition, I believe. It was a large dressing room divided into two halves. The murder took place in the inside house. I guess that partition might have hidden the body. Like, it's hard to bear what we're going to be looking for. I mean, she's looking away, I guess. But it doesn't really change much. But I wasn't told the details. I mean, her face is very smug here. She's not playing with like the bottom of her hair or anything like that. It's really hard to figure out what I'm supposed to perceive right now. Told to wait there. I mean, she's looking away again. Although she does, hold on, when she's in this pose, her hand is on her, I can't go that low. Her hand's on her elbow right now. I think maybe she have a nervous tick there, but. The thing here is that she's not looking at us at all for this. I saw nothing. I mean, I would assume it's the I saw nothing is what's wrong. Like, she must have seen something. Backstage for a moment. Okay, so like, let's see there. She's just very, very smart. But like, she also says that, you know, she was singing on stage, and that's not a lie, and she doesn't change from this pose. This she this she changes. And this she's in the same pose. And then she shifts back. It doesn't ring true about her testimony. I imagine she's lying. What wouldn't she tell me about the murder? Oh gosh. I wish I could I like want to open my previous stream and like go find it. Because I think we like told her that she had to testify or something, or that she had to say what she saw, and then she was like, nope, don't have to. This guy is, right? But there's nothing here. She's just like, what? Her mouth isn't moving. What? Wait. Was that just a glitch? Here again. I saw nothing. Her mouth saw. What the fuck?
Gotcha!
How are you doing that? Oh, oh, she swallowed. The late Mr. Latouse's body, you say? Yes? You know something more about Mr. Latouse's death than you're saying. What? I could see you trying not to remember. But the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes. It is true. It was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Latouse have to be shot? One moment, Lamiroir. Yes? What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Latouse have to be shot? Yes? She was hiding something. I knew it. Lamiroir, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony. Huh? How could that be? Yes. Lamiroir contradicted her own testimony, and I have the evidence to prove it. Well, she doesn't know that she was being shot. This, right?
Take that!
No one was allowed to know the details, right? Tell me, Lamiroir, how did you know he had been shot? Well, Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yet you knew that Mr. Latouse had been shot. How could you have known? Weird yelling noises.
Lamiroir, you aren't hiding something from this court, I hope.
That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet. Now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony. Of course. All we want to know is the truth. She's kind of pale, huh? She saw something. I know it. The victim said so. I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Miss Latouse had been shot. How did you see them? They're on the other side of the door. On the wall that you wouldn't have been looking at.
Hold it!
Only a glimpse that you knew there were bullet holes? Yes, I recognized them immediately. I have seen bullet holes before, you know? You have traveled the world as a singer. You must have sung in places far more dangerous than our country. I go where my voice is needed. Those places are many these days. That's really cool. I hope to get to travel like Lamiroir someday. I plan on recording my next album overseas. Their studios have a different sound, you know. Maybe I should go on a Chords of Steel tour, too. Okay, I think we need to... I think we need to show the map here. Because it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't this door open... Like, the door blocks the bullet holes.
Objection!
Lamiroir, they call you the Siren of the Ballad, but lies are hardly becoming of such a creature.
Put down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo. Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Oh, can't that be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lamiroir, you looked in from the door for just a moment, correct? Yes, that is so. There were bullet holes in the room, yes. But they were in the wall the door is on. You see, assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes. Yeah. What a cool constellation up there.
Lamiroir,
Yes.
I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something.
And I must tell you what it is that I saw.
Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded, and I'm certain it will be on the news in Virginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it.
Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Latouse died, and he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lamiroir.
Very well. Lamiro, please continue your testimony.
Very well. I shall. Excuse me. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Machi. It was a grown person. I know it was.
So you did witness the crime, and the killer was a grown person, you say?
Ha, this is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Herr Forehead.
Very well, Herr Mr. Justice. You may begin your cross-examination.
Great going, Apollo. You were right about letting me roar. What's wrong? You don't look too happy. This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong.
Hold it!
We need a map of the stage, you know? Excuse me. So you're heading towards the dressing room? Yes. So this is a little before she opened the dressing room and dropped her brooch. At the same time, Emma and I heard those shots. I was on my way back. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. I mean, that's true. You could see something happening there. How would Mr. Latouche know, though? How would he know that there was a witness if she was watching it through there?
Hold it!
What exactly is something like a little window? Yes, well, window is the best word I know in English. I think this is how it is said, yes. We need that for a lamiro. Your choice of words is impeccable. There is a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail. A window on the wall? I saw the crime from there. 2 shots.
Hold it!
You are certain you heard 2 shots fired? Yes, quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This is when I heard a faint sound, like a gunshot. Wondering what it had been, I peered through the window. It was when I heard the second gunshot, much closer. There were 2 bullet holes at the scene, no contradiction so far. It all happened on the other side of that window. There was nothing I could do. Are we going to go in a circle and prove that it has to be him again? It wasn't Machi who shot. Are you sure? Yes, quite certain. It amuses me that you would question her testimony. It is testimony in your favor. Isn't it my job to object? Yeah, Apollo, what were you thinking? Trucy. Let's just listen to what Lamiro has to say. Can you tell me how you were so sure? Yes, of course. You see, a grown person I know.
Hold it!
A grown person. That's a little vague. I'm sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
Certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female.
It was a man. A young man. Oh, is she gonna blame it on me?
And you're sure of that?
Yes, his voice was quite clear. Voice?
Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter.
As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man. So you heard a voice? But wait. Wouldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouche? How did you hear a voice over the sound of the maximum, crazy speakers? Absolutely not. But not to say that I do not forget a voice. If it was Mr. Latouche who spoke, I would have known.
Indeed. So you were at the window. You heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man.
Apollo, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Machi.
Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of this testimony?
I don't think it makes any sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense why she would. If you saw, I guess, like, if you saw your manager get shot, maybe you would come running around to enter. But, like, you wouldn't do what she did, though. Like, sure, she could be startled by, like, Apollo yelling who's there, but if she has nothing to hide, she could have just easily, like, busted in through and then been a useful witness. You know? There's no, like, the fact that she's hiding things is weird. You were at the window, you heard the shooter's voice. It doesn't, I don't think she'd be able to hear it. It's a tiny window and there's a bunch of blasting rock music. Though it pains me to say this, there's something about Lamiro's testimony that rings false. Heh, bravo, Hair Forehead. You're colder than I thought. Sure you know what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As has been established, no grown man could pass through that air vent. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime. But that means Lamiro has to be lying. I know. And I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting. It is as Hair Forehead says. Yet, this is not the only contradiction within our testimony. What next? What's he talking about? Lamiro, I understand why you would want to protect Machi. Yet remember, you are the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become such a creature. Wait, did you just steal my line?
What does the prosecution mean?
Apollo, what's he talking about? I don't know if that's not even he says stuff like that.
I recall the state of the crime scene quite well.
Yes, and when the murder took place, that window was closed. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it. But I'm sure.
Lamiro, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense, but my opinion of you as a witness is something lesser.
But she's the only eyewitness we have. So you say, and the victim named her the siren as the witness. That's right. That's what Mr. Latouche, they heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Herr Judge.
Yes.
The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please.
I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility.
But if Lamiro can't testify, we don't have a chance to prove Machi's innocence.
This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case.
Danke. Now, where were we? Yes, I would like to hear from Fräulein Detective again. Wait! Let me hear Lamiro's testimony one last time.
But the cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as need arises, this witness may leave the stand.
I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance. At last, back to the real trial. Ready for Hair Forehead? Just missed my own chance. Fräulein Detective, how far had we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Don't ask me. I just like saying the same thing twice, and I never repeat a song for an encore.
If you would, Miss Sky.
I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Latouche's killer could have escaped was through that air vent on the ceiling.
Ah, yes. There's only one door in the room. And the witness, you were standing in front of it.
That air vent isn't very big, you see. Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through.
I certainly would have had a difficult time.
You sure would. Not that you would have been there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The concert. Wow. That's amazing how my brain just decides to make its mouth move. The only one who meets the conditions for our killer is the defendant. A virtuoso performance. Couldn't have put it better myself.
She does state a clear case. Reading the report, something caught my eye.
Oh, what's that?
The circumstances of the defendant's arrest.
The circumstances? Again? Yeah, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre. She's right. Why did Mr. Latuse's body disappear from the room? And end up on top of that stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less. A perceptive observation here, Judge.
Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough. You get a nose for things.
The judge sure seems pleased with himself. Very good, Fräulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us. Why was the body moved? And how does that lead us to the killer? I don't know, but I know I need water. The missing body. Machi can't read, Emma. Like, what is this? I mean, sure, he would know it from playing the song in rehearsal and those things, but immediately I'm like, he can't read, he's blind. I believe Machi stole the body because of the lyrics. He moved the body to match Lamura's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim, and Machi practically left his signature at the scene. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant. Lamura's song? Yes, the guitar serenade. You notice its code too, did you not? Its code. All the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. First, the keys my heart held on so tightly were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar... Oh, sorry, it's Apollo talking. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Mr. Latuse's life was taken by a bullet. That's hardly needs explanation. Guitar, guitar, up together to the sky.
Ah, that's bad. It's like a story out of some fairy tale.
I admit I'd forgotten about the song. But there it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale, as it were. Hey, no, I was the one who first noticed that.
I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs. But killing?
It's a wild world out there, Herr Judge.
Very well. They'd heard one song and dance. Let's get on to the next. Cross-examination.
Not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing. Okay, he's on his blind
Hold it!
We're going to point that out in the pressing. Who would steal a body just to match some lyrics? I didn't believe it myself, but it can't just be a coincidence. It is as Fräulein Detective says. Let's begin with the first verse, if you would, Fräulein Detective. What? You want me to sing it? You are the witness, yeah? Or did you want me to sing? I have warned you my fee as vocalist is not trivial. Fine, fine. To the first part of the lyric, shall we? When you stole away the keys my heart held on to so tight. Indeed, my favorite heart-shaped keyring was stolen that morning. Next, we go to the right page of the lyric sheet, where we find burning on in my heart. Fire burned my love away always. As we know, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. Like a bullet of love. Fire, take my life away, always. Okay, but why are there two shots? Mr. Latuse's life was taken by a bullet. Bravo, Fräulein Detective. You're singing, it's not bad. Now for the finale. Ta-ta, up together to the sky. As it says in the lyrics, Mr. Latuse. Are we missing the fact that Latuse is a massive man and this is a blind child? was found with a guitar high in the sky above the stage. No series of coincidences could be so well conceived. He's right, scientifically speaking. What Waki upset. That concert was whack. It's hard to argue when she pours her heart into like that. Anyway, the shooter. But he's fucking blind! Does the prosecution have any idea why he do all this? You want my scientific opinion? No clue. But he clearly had a reason to go through all that trouble. Some deep reason. Not only did he steal my keys, he torched my guitar. Unforgivable acts even if he had a reason. And thus, if he had none... The Diva's complaints aside, I can't imagine someone doing this on just a whim. Fraulein Detective, I take offense at the description.
Indeed. Wasn't too well rehearsed, shall we say.
Yeah, this crime was planned for sure. Yeah, well then there's one person who's not from this country who has motive. You ever think about that? But Mr. Latou spoke English. He may have come to this country before. I looked into that. I assure you. Oh. It was his first time in the country, it seems. Apparently he learned English on his own. Great. You see? No one here had a motive to kill him, and certainly not in such an elaborate fashion.
It does seem difficult to imagine.
Unless our famous prosecutor did as a publicity stunt. What did you say?
Prosecutor Gavin, you did this to promote your song.
Of course not. I'm quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of the claim. Why would I need a promotion? Everyone already listens to my music. Even my textbook at school. Never heard of them. What does that say about me? It's just kidding. Don't get all worked up, clever boy. What do you mean by his signature? The bullet holes in the wall, of course. The bullet holes? Yeah, what are you talking about? The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall.
And that means what exactly?
That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. He can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It'd be difficult. Almost impossible to miss at that range.
Difficult to miss, you say?
Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim. You can't be serious. Machi, can't see. That's why he missed? There's the only explanation that makes sense. Use sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly. That reminds me. The monitor in that room was bland at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound.
A blind shooter. No wonder he missed.
Those blows go back to haunt me. Think of justice, what do I do now? Raising objection. Some other senses that fire the gun. Well, hold on, wait. Don't suppose we can dust this thing for prints, can we? Do a lost blood from the gunshot wound. I wonder, is there anything about the shoulder wound that indicates like which direction it came from? Not really. I mean, there's also the fact that the partition was in the way for one of the bullets. That's also weird. And also, if we're saying, oh, he's blind, then how do you explain him climbing a ladder up into a vent? Like, that also doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I can't think of what I would object to about this besides the fact that it's absolutely absurd that he'd, like, pick up the gun and fire it in the first place, you know? Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. But that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. Oh, how so? Oh, there could have been a struggle with the victim.
That's certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolver.
The revolver was a very large caliber, correct?
If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, why, it could dislocate their shoulder.
Exactly. The defendant, Machi Tobase, is, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim. You're not helping the case here, Paul.
A convincing argument, to be sure.
Take that, smug prosecution. Apollo? Huh, what? That bit about Machi being tiny and the gun throwing off his aim? Are you kind of, admitting that he did it? Oh. It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Perhaps. I'll put my foot in it this time. But let's get the facts of the matter on record. If you would, Fraulein Detective.
Very well. The witness will add this to her testimony.
Right. Let's say the crime scene concluded the shooter was blind. Yeah. Explain to me how he got to the vent then. You can't say he was blind just because of those bullet holes in the wall. Yeah, I've proven that. I wouldn't call it proof per se. Huh? You've merely raised the possibility. Fraulein Detective has made a most logical conjecture based upon other evidence. Of course, there's more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vent. Wait, if he was blind, how would he know about the air vent in the first place? Ah, a very good point. Well, Fraulein Detective, if you would care to explain. He certainly seems sure of himself. Recall the crime scene if you would. There was a stepladder below the air vent. As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents. I don't believe it. Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Machi Tobase. You would have known that there would be a way out at the top of that stepladder. But that... Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this? You could have figured it out for yourself. You really need to consider what that stepladder was doing there.
Looks like the defense objection has been squished by a stepladder.
Without a hair forehead. Out of ammunition, perhaps. I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive. Maybe he's caught the scent of blood. Apollo, don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need. We need something to prove that the killer could see. That'll put him in his place. If the shooter was sighted, would do it. I'll take down one of their simple points. Do I have any evidence that can prove that, though? Interesting that one of the options is no. I really wonder if it's no need because, like, the bullet hole doesn't make sense. Do I have any evidence that he's sighted? How do we prove that he can see? Wait, I don't suppose we have his, like we don't have his audience or his audience on his autograph, do we? Evidence that he gets victim shot in the shoulder. These bullet holes seriously don't make sense unless what's his face was on like, the other side first. Why would he have this? And how would you steal the key if you weren't excited? I don't think I have evidence. I can't think of anything that proves the shooter could see. Your face does not exactly project confidence. Maybe you should just accept it and move on? Apollo, grow a backbone!
Very well. The witness may continue her testimony.
Okay, you got a word in edgewise. It doesn't look so good, does it, Apollo? No, it doesn't. What do we do? First, we don't panic. You know Machi's case is leaking water by the gallon. Gallon's on a roll, and it's up to me to stop him. But like, this doesn't make no fucking sense. Also, do the lyrics really say guitar up together to the sky? Okay, so that whole thing goes from here. Huh. So I mean that entire thing gets us back here. I mean, he's not deaf, so he knows the lyrics. But, excuse me. Trust in the system, I guess. Possibilities.
Objection!
And then the air vent. I wonder if it's the keys. Like, I mean, you could do that by feel, I guess. Something for the killer to see. True, shooter sighted. Fine, I accept the prosecutor's challenge. As I knew you would, half forehead. The prosecutor is saying the shooter missed because they couldn't see. And Machi was blind and did it.
The defense will please present the evidence. Evidence that overturns the prosecution claim that the shooter couldn't see.
Okay. We have three pieces of evidence that feel like they could even be remotely correct. One is the key rings. Because, like, I mean, he could feel by shape, I guess. So the other one is shoulder shot. The dude is writing something. Oh. Oh, maybe it's... Do you think it's that the room is too cluttered to escape without being able to see?
Take that!
Try it.
I'm not sure that overturns anything, Mr. Justice.
Wrong evidence, I'm guessing. Apparently both love and justice are blind. I have to think there must be something. Anything. Doesn't look so good, does it, Apollo? No, it doesn't. What do we do? Oh. Okay, no, this is... It just throws around me. See, this is a contradiction though, right? Like this is a contradiction to everything else. Like how is he supposed to move the body? She's fiddling with her hair here.
Objection!
Back to that other bit. I mean, since there's so much focused on it, it feels like there must be something here. Oh, this. Wait, what? Oh, don't load the autosave. Load my thing before we chose present evidence or not. Concluded the shooter was blind. Being shot in the shoulder, does that match the lyrics? Like a bullet of love, fire, but kind of way all the way. I mean, he didn't shoot to kill him, I guess. Blind. And if he's blind, how would he load the gun? How would he load the gun? How would he get a gun as a blind? There's also the mixing board. Not just so the body. I think I'll pass everything.
Hold it!
Still probably my lyrics. Oh god, do I have to skip this entire thing again? Please stop. Terrible press. Favorite hardship queuing was stolen memory. There's no way he could get there. Also, why is he passed out?
Hold it!
Deep breathing. I mean, there was. The thing is that there was a moment, right, where the sound was a bit
Hold it!
forward. But could that be related? All these other presses are really not useful at all. Machi pressure up to center the scene.
Hold it!
I mean, he would have a dislocated shoulder. Have you looked? He would have had to use sound and other senses to aim. I wonder if the mixing board is going to be part of this. From the state of the crime scene.
Hold it!
Doesn't make sense. Also, like, if he shot from over there, then
Objection!
it wouldn't make sense, like, of the little about where it was. Okay, all this stuff. And then the brooch being where it is also doesn't make sense. Needs something to prove the killer can see. Okay, so I must have evidence since nobody just loops us around. Evidence that overseeing is prosecuted for crime. We're gonna go with the key.
Take that!
No? Damn it. If it's not the key ring, then what? The killer could see. Well, before it's signed, they'd have to read it, right?
Take that!
Try that again. No. Come on. Come on, brain. Work. What am I missing here? Something up here you could see. Have to go pick up and load the damn thing. already tried the keys, right? And I also already tried the diagram, I think.
Take that!
One of these. What am I missing? I'm missing something, and I hate like going in circles like this where it's just becoming guesswork. Is it not? Is it not a piece of evidence? Is it a person who I need to? No, I can't even select that. I mean, this wouldn't help us, right? Like, the music being disrupted and being incorrect doesn't fix anything. I mean, we know that there was some sound off, so he would have been thrown off if he was using... Is that it? Is it the fact that he would have been thrown off by using sound because it wasn't, like, properly... If it was so, that's really obtuse. Yeah, no, that's obtuse. What the heck? I don't understand what I'm supposed to present here. And I am getting very close to deciding to just look it up. Do I have evidence that can prove this? And the guy is being super aggressive for some reason. Oh, way out of See, the fact that he says, as I knew you would, makes you feel like maybe this isn't what we're supposed to do, but still. Hit him in the shoulder. Angle-wise. I already presented the crime scene, right? Is there something in this that I'm missing? Okay, apparently. I didn't look it up, by the way, just guesswork. This is that evidence. The photograph of the crime scene. Watch this mark on Prosecutor Gallon's face. I don't think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honor. The crime scene. There is something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah? Very well. Show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. Okay. The contradiction at the scene of the crime is... is it that he put something in Latouse's hand? Or is it that he wiped off whatever was being written? I think it's that, right? Like, Latouse wrote, he probably wrote Lamiore's name down because she killed him, I assume. And Machi's protecting her, so he, like, wiped it off.
Take
I'm
that!
gonna go with that. That's my guess. The contradiction is right here. The smeared bloodstains.
It was just my blurry vision. But it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head. Much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court.
It's almost as if he wrote something. I get it. At least I think I get it. Gets flat brow. When Mr. Latouche was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write about the shooter's name? And what would he write it about his own blood? Pretty good, huh? Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here.
That does seem to be a distinct possibility.
The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. God, she wasn't all rubbed down like that.
Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Neither would I. This doesn't help, does it? No one has anything else to say?
About what?
So the prosecution accepts this? You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer? And that the killer tried to rub the name out? What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? Well, Mr. Latouche was writing something in blood. Once the killer saw what it was... Wait.
Once he saw what it was.
But what did you just testify about the shooter? I said they were blind. Ugh. If the crime scene itself contradicts that, the killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub with the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant, Machi Tobase, is blind. He couldn't have been the shooter. Impossible.
Order! Prosecutor Gavin, please explain to me what all this means. I mean, looking at this photo, it's quite clear that the shooter could see. But up until now...
It seems I owe the court an apology. The Gavin is all banned with law enforcement ties you to murder occurred during our concert. Apparently this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here. Yeah, Paolo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't. He's about to tell us. I've got an idea. Let's rock. With these documents. Before that, I have a question for the Fraulein detective, if I may. What? Tell me, why do you think that Machi Tobase is blind? Huh? What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course. He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lamigor lead him around by the hand all the time? No way. I have a report here on the defendant, Machi Tobase. According to this, Machi Tobase can see perfectly well. What? His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borgianines. He can see quite well. But you said, what did I say exactly? Therefore, had not once in the course of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was Fraulein detective. That's a significant fact, yes. Consider Machi Tobase sees, and he was the only one who could have led to the event. I see no problems with this. But what about the bullet holes in the walls? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe Herr Forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the 45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies. This is where the real fun begins, Herr Forehead. It's like a weird, like, Rayman monkey person or something when he does that. I knew you didn't have what it. You jerk! Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize. Oh, sorry. That's no way to apologize. Get the trucy now. Okay.
If we can please end the bickering now.
Whatever, I'm not leaving. Can't leave. come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me.
But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant.
Say that. What? It's bloodstain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right? That seems to be what happened, yeah. Might be able to find out what was really written here. Really? You can do that? That's right. With this. Called luminol. Maybe you know of it? It's a chemical that reacts to blood. Ah, yes. Have you done those tests yet? As if I'm going to tell you. The blood stains coated section of the carpet. It's not blood though, it's makeup, isn't it? Like, we made a comment about the fact that it looked weird. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in court now. Right, go for it, Apollo. Huh? I have to do the test? You just have to spray the luminol on. Simple. There's some blood. Wrote this somewhere.
Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. How about it?
I don't think this is going to reveal anything. Press A to spray. Alright. Paul, your hand's shaky. Ugh, let's do this. The thing is it actually real? That doesn't look like real words. Wow, it really works. That looks like IPX314206. This must be the power of science. It says IPXX314206. Is that the killer's name?
Maybe it is. If the killer was a robot.
Ha, I have it. So what is it? I thought those letters IPXX looked familiar. This is an Interpol ID number. Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency? Yes. Most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes. Why would he write that number? How would Mr. Latus even know a number like that?
Good show, Fräulein Detective.
Rock on. Yeah. Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand. Is it his number? Darian, you heard what we need. We'll check into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27.
I'm not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems. Either this number is really that of an Interpol agent.
Wait, what if Machi Tobase is really an undercover Interpol agent? That would be a possibility.
A possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as the killer for certain.
Why do the two spell Interpol ID? That's what I want to know.
Well, we have some time while we await Darian's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we?
A curious mystery concerning Machi Tobase. What are you talking about?
Fräulein Detective, please accept my apologies.
I received word that the defendant could in fact see just before the trial began. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you. You had me until that last bit.
Does this not raise a rather straightforward question?
Well, sure. Why did Machi pretend he couldn't see?
Exactly. Makes little sense. What do you think, Hair Forehead?
Huh? Me?
Machi Tobase pretended he was blind.
Do you know why? How could he know? Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he? Does it go with the fucking lyrics? No, okay, there's nothing in here about like love is blind or anything. Let's start the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. Something wrong. Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game?
Know that the moment I heard that report,
I knew why.
I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else.
What does that have to do with anything? There was a reason why Machi Tobase pretended to be blind, but it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now. It wasn't for himself.
Well, Mr. Justice. Oh, sorry. Well, Mr. Justice, you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign blindness.
Because of this stuff, probably? Like, because of the tour? the richness because he saw the entire crime happen. I mean, if he's okay, let's assume that Lamy Roar killed Latus. If she thought that Tobey was blind, she wouldn't try to kill him, right? That'll be if he was a witness. I mean, this is the implication is that he's protecting Lamy Roar, right? Or working with Latus to like capture Lamy Roar or something. But I mean, it's probably watching the reason they can see, which means good show, half full head. It seems to have thought of something. Why can't I figure these things out on my own? Well, look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see. I don't know. I thought maybe something would like help me out a bit, but. Because of the chance, or because of the brooch. Let's go with the brooch, maybe. Does that make sense? My head's just like, how do I connect this to Lamy Roar? But he couldn't see. Because he knew it was her, and if she knew that he knew, then he'd be in danger.
What is that supposed to mean? I don't see how it relates to the defendant's vision or lack thereof.
Well, see, it is the wrong piece of evidence.
I do see how your lack of an answer relates to this penalty, however.
Yeah, full hit, I'm disappointed in you. Unless you're merely feigning stupidity, yeah? Oh, nice guy. Recall the relationship with Lamy Roar and Machi Tobase. In particular, their arrangement over the years before visiting our country. They walked together, actually. Even when they got on stage, she lead him to the piano. Walked all the way over there with him. That's right. Because he was blind, or so we thought. She led him at all times. All times. Yet now we know that Machi could see perfectly well. Why keep up the charade?
Well, wasn't it part of their performance?
Wait, they're giving it to me right now. Does that mean that there isn't a right answer here? Unless it's this. Let me try that real quick. This, right? Yeah, okay.
That is Lamy Roar.
Lamy Roar and Machi Tobase. Recall the relationship, particularly their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country. Lamy Roar and her pianist. They always walked together. She'd lead him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she'd lead him to the piano. She'd walk all the way over there with him. That's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never letting him go.
All times.
Yeah, we have just learned something that makes their arrangement peculiar indeed. Machi could see. Why did they have to keep this act the whole time?
Well, wasn't it part of their performance?
I think there's a simpler explanation. Machi did not need to be led by the hand at all. They only mean one thing. Really? Really. It was all the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was Lami Roar.
Watch this. So you mean to say that Lami Roar is... Jeez.
Yes, Your Honor. Lami Roar is blind. What? Okay, that's a bit of a jump. She was just in the courtroom. Didn't she get to the witness stand by herself?
Order. Order. This is crazy, Prosecutor Captain.
Is it now?
Jeez. We shed some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim.
The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it is not vast in vain this time. He's quite correct.
Well, that makes no sense.
Yeah. Wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something? Well, since we have her here, why not ask Lami Roar herself? I believe she is still in the witness waiting room. Apollo, what does this mean for our case? Don't ask me. I had no idea she couldn't see. I hadn't imagined it until now.
Bailiff, bring in Lami Roar.
Oh, I guess the bailiff brings them in. Lami Roar. It pains me deeply to call you before skin in this way, and yet I must. Please not be concerned on my behalf. She really can't see. Really? It is true. Funny is that a tiny lie born in the Butchanian countryside would one day grow to entangle the entire world.
So you are?
Yes. As I mentioned before, I have no memory of the time before I began learning. Know too that my memories begin in darkness, but light has no meaning for Lami Roar.
I see.
You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial here, forehead. What's that? I believe I said it was unfortunate this crime had no direct witnesses. Now, Lami Roar, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes? Of course. It was never my intention to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor?
Yes, of course. Though I admit I'm a little lost here.
I think we're all a bit lost here, Your Honor. No memory of the light. Debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So, silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others. Everyone on your staff knew.
But this is a murder trial.
I apologize. It was part of my contract, you see. I was to keep my blindness a secret no matter what. Music is everything for me. Never imagined something like this would.
She told us the truth in the beginning, when she said she saw nothing. Very well. Does the defense have anything to add?
I'd like to cross-examine. But what is there left to ask? There's one thing in her testimony that bothered me. Perhaps it is best we let you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself.
Very well. The defense may proceed. However, be aware this court will not tolerate any question deemed too stressful to the witness.
Okay. There was only one part that bothered me. Just let me ask about that and I'll be happy. I wonder if this is going to be like a you can't press on anything but the right thing. No memory of the light. Okay. I'm gonna press on everything anyway though. So, you don't know why you went blind? I do not. I may have been born this way, in fact. It is fruitless to attempt to find a past. I might add, it's a delicate subject.
I'm not sure we can reasonably expect Mr. Justice to do anything delicately.
Hey, why I ought... What I am now is all that I am. It isn't nothing. Weren't you nervous at the stage in your condition? No, not at all surprisingly. Felt natural, singing in front of everyone.
It's not something just anyone can do.
She has talent, that much is quite clear. You might even say she is beloved by the worlds of music. Even without light, I live perfectly happy in my world of sound. That is a talent, as you say, and I think the thought responsible. What about your PR motto? Okay, let's do the PR line. Perhaps your music reminded him of the Borgian scenery? No, it's quite the opposite. The opposite. According to my producer, my music has a certain global quality.
Global.
Multicultural, if you will. Hard to pin to one region. When people listen to it, they picture the country closest to their hearts, which is why my music has reached so many. What a lovely story! It sounds like this producer might have known what he was doing after all. My songs are nothing more than a white canvas. To me, the real landscape painters are the listeners. When I think of that, I do not mind how I'm represented to the world so much. Yet one thing quickly led to another. So yes, it may sound I had to pretend to. Was that to protect your image as the landscape painter and sound? That does not matter so much to me, really. But the label is quite concerned about it, I think. A landscape painter we can't see. Like a pianist can't play, huh? Not sure you can compare your father to Lammy Roar. The world of commercial music is filled with these little white lies. Nothing is sacred when it comes to publicity. Okay, see, that bit is quite weird. Yeah, you know, this bit does make sense because of the manager. The manager said the witness was Lammy Roar. But if he knew that she's blind, then she's not a witness. When you say you're staffed, do you include Mr. Latouche? Of course, it was my manager. So he knew. And that's what's been bugging me.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice.
I believe I know what is bothering our young defense attorney. You are thinking when you discovered the body, yes? Is he right, Apollo? Yes, I was. Oh, really again? Sorry, I'm not doing this again. We've done this like at least 4 times. Can't see. Mr. Latouche told me to ask the witness and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind. What did I just say? You need to learn to think for yourself. What? There's no mystery here if you call everything he said. Think of his last words once more. The witness silent.
We've heard them many times, along with a little blacking by defense.
I remember them well myself, but that statement is not to what I refer. I mean what he said before that. Before? Sorry, before what? Oh, that's right. He tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness.
I see.
Too bad the defense did not. Veil the hair forehead. Try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time.
Order.
Recall Lammy Roar's earlier testimony. So away from the stage to the backstage exit. There were 2 shots, and 2 couldn't stop it.
She couldn't have heard those gunshots. I thought we proved that.
That is not the most important point here. The moment he was shot, Mr. Latouche witnessed her through that window. Why else would he have named her as the witness? But I really did hear them. 2 gunshots. And the man's voice. Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. Already run a simulation, of course. But it was so clear. If I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant.
Your Honor.
What is it, bailiff? Can't you say we're in a session here? The results back from the investigation. The investigation? Ah, the Interpol number that Mr. Latouche left us.
Well, let's hear it. We'll continue this cross-examination afterwards.
Detective Crescent, your report, please. Is it going to be Crescent's voice that she recognizes? Last interval about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing. Quick look as always, Darian.
Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent?
IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche. But undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Latouche himself. Sorry, my voice is going. It's apparently in the middle of an operation. Someone who wrote those letters was trying to tell us his own identity, and a cautious killer tried to wipe them away. Mr. Latouche was an undercover Interpol agent. So him being Lamira's manager was just a cover, most likely. There's one other important detail I found. Well, outfitted concerns that 45 caliber revolver, the murder weapon. Apparently, it belonged to Romain Latouche, an Interpol permit to carry firearms, and the registration number of the revolver matched. So the victim was killed with his own weapon, which makes sense. Hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent with such a large revolver. So the victim was an Interpol agent on the cover off. It's kind of tied in somehow, you think? Yeah, somehow.
Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help.
Sorry, I need to drink some water. My voice is going. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. Now we heading out. Yeah, that's the voice, right? Hey,
Lamira, is something the matter?
that voice just now. Darian? Mr. Darian, is it? It was him. I am sure of it.
It was him.
You aren't saying. That voice I heard, talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darian. Is this some kind of a joke? Sorry, I've lost the voice. What? No way. Welcome to such a chaotic state, the trial to be suspended temporarily. I've never seen that happen before. Of course, not every day you get an accusation like that one. Lamira, fingering Darian Crescent. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective. Could it really have been his voice Lamira heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure I could keep up with it. Hey, whip me out now, Apollo. Yeah, no, my voice is going scratchy. So I'm kind of happy that we just hit the to be continued bit there. So, sorry for like waffling on that one bit for so long. But we'll continue the next chapter next time. Next stream. Tomorrow is Tuesday, which should, I believe, as far as I know, be another co-op stream with Dr. McJan. So we'll be doing more We Were Here Forever and trying to solve puzzles together and all that business. And yeah, this should be good. I'll confirm with him tonight that he's down for tomorrow. So we'll pick up Lamira accusing Crescent and everything else that's going to happen and how it's probably going to tie into the mixing board, I bet, with on Wednesday. So thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time in this server you are. And I hope that you enjoyed that you got 2 whole streams today. Got a programming stream in the morning, and you got this one. Just take it easy, everyone, and see you later.